out that the person who died, Celeste, rest in peace, not only knew him, they had matching tattoos, and he might have kidnapped her from her parents' home.
First off, I want to retract my statement. Obviously, the other day, I was defending David before all the new evidence came out. I do not condone anything that David has done.
Case cracked. It's actually the most, everything lines up. I mean, guys, you're talking about, what would be the otherness? Just for this very one coincidence, it'd be 365 times 365. We're talking about 1 out of 133,000.
Let me explain where I'm coming from in this video. Okay, so last week I made a video talking about the David situation where some bizarre news broke out where a Tesla in Texas, I believe, was impounded or was towed away because officers found a decomposing body inside it. When I made that video, if you watch it back, well, I'll talk about it in a second. In that video, I was defending David, being like, oh my god, I feel like he might be innocent. I think some maniac put that body in there, and by pure coincidence, it happens to be David's car. I feel so bad for him. Fast forward this week, and the most fucking insane story came out that, for me, and many people, paint David as a maniac that did it. Now again, to protect myself real quick, so I don't get sued if I'm wrong, and the entire internet, I'm gonna say in this video that I'm like 97% certain that David is very guilty of what happened, of what went down with him and the victim. And in this video, right, I want to pull up all the evidence that painted him, that, makes me pretty certain that he did it and that he's guilty. Because again, if you don't know the context, right, the body was found and, in this car. And fast forward, officials found, who the actual victim was. And when her name came out and people saw it, people fucking made connections so quickly that a victim was actually... Okay, for context, right? David is 20, and the victim was a 15-year-old girl called Celeste. And they found very quickly that, there was potentially, very, very likely, a relationship between them. And that's why, everything unfolded with her life being taken away. So again, to actually just start from the very beginning, right? I want to put all the evidence that makes me certain that David is very guilty. Okay, there's a whole tweet longer on Twitter, right, that shows all the evidence. However, that's 30%, that's 30 fucking tweets under it with just some insane stuff. So if you're watching this video, right, I want to show the most concise summary that I can make up from this, that again, in my opinion, paints David as being very shady and maybe not being 100% innocent. Okay, so let's get into it. So again, this was a victim, a 15-year-old girl called Celeste Rivers Hernandez, a Hispanic girl. And it seemed that she went missing last year during summer. Whenever that month is. Yeah, of last year. And she was, we don't know when she got killed and when her body got put on that Tesla. But it seemed that she was missing for quite a while, over a year, right? So that was the name, right? The only detail you need right now is the name, the first one, Celeste, and her date of birth, 9/7/2010, or just the month and the day, whatever. Right, I'm gonna go from the most harmful parts to the most insane details, right? The first one being, this unreleased song by David, where he brings up a girl's name called Celeste. Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Oh Celeste, afraid you'll only love me when I'm undressed, whatever. So, him just bringing up her name in an unreleased song, that's not enough, How do we know that really went out with her while he was, 20 and she was 15? Well, I get, this was the person who made the tweet longer. And they had so many proof and evidence on here, but I want to show the actual most damning parts. Because fast forward, right? People found on his Discord proof of people bring up a girl called Celeste and how she's going out with David. We'll move this real quick. Somebody said, "Here's a GF. Pretty sure he's dating right now." What? Yeah, her name is Celeste. Maybe coincidence. Who knows? I feel the name Celeste. It might be common. I mean, I've never heard of it, right? But it might be common in America. God knows. But then one streamer who's like really been diving into this is SUC. And bro, he made a pretty bizarre connection that most of his songs, like the most recent one called Romantic Homicide, that was released, and a bunch of other songs, they all came out exactly on her birthday. I'm just play the clip real quick.
Crazy.
Dude, so it's not sunrise. So it's not, so I can go like this?
Yeah.
That was one song, right?
No, I didn't inspect Element. I swear to God, I'm in LA and it says September 7 for me.
Case cracked.
Case correct. Again, to be fair to him, to SUC, I'm not sure there's enough to crack the case. Oh my god, chat, look, both dates align with the release of his music and the birthday. Oh, case cracked. That's not enough. But again, right, in this video, right, I want to show all the evidence that if you put together, paints a very, disgusting picture of what happened and how, again, he might be guilty. Then after, right, so all we have, from that was, her name being brought up and maybe her birthday and how he intentionally, or whatever, released his music videos or his songs exactly on her birthday, right, whatever. Now this is where it gets, much more serious for me, where we have pictures of a girl that he was with who looks pretty much like her, like nearly exactly like her. You see her, right here on the left with curly hair, pretty similar, right? Similar skin tone as well, and also her eyes, pretty similar as well. Next picture, again, more up close. There you go. And then also, again, a picture with her who looks. With a girl who looks exactly like her. Dude, what the fuck? And as well, the name being exact, Celeste and David Don't Let Me Sleep. Now again, to be insanely charitable, so I don't get sued, maybe it was another girl who happened to be called Celeste. God forbid, maybe like she has the exact name, she looks exactly like her, and that's just pure coincidence. God knows. And then right, here's the part where it became much worse for me. Like this last tab I have right here at the end, this was the last nail in the coffin, because on David's side we have a bunch of evidence of him bringing up the name Celeste and how he's tied to it. But what about her side? Well, TMZ, when this whole thing broke out, they interviewed the mom of the victim, of Celeste, and she said that before in the past she had a boyfriend called David. A boyfriend called David. There comes a point, right, in my mind, where there's so much, like one piece of evidence, that's not enough, you can't really call a guy guilty because of that. But when you have so much shit piling on, and it, like, the amount of charitability you can give to him is slowly fading away, at what point do you just fucking give in, and you're like, he looks guilty, my god. So again, I don't want to call him. I don't want to say that he did it 100%, because we still need the police to look into it. He might be innocent. There's that 1% chance that he might be innocent. God knows. But I do want to say that I don't feel comfortable defending David. To the point that that first video that I made about the whole situation, I want to take it down. Because I look so goddamn bad, being like, oh, David, he might be innocent, there's no proof that he did it. Well, now, evidence has come out, and yeah, I look like a fucking idiot. He looks pretty goddamn guilty. So there you go, right? I'm gonna take that video down, and again, wait for more evidence. But on my personal side, I just don't feel safe, defending him. Because, bro, the odds of him being innocent is fucking zero. It's 0.1. 0.1, that's it. He needs some life-saving evidence to prove his innocence. That's it. Again, if you guys want to look up more details, more evidence to show that he's guilty, this person at 7WDCS, they have a whole tweet long about this. It's massively long. But I feel some parts, we have some dummy evidence, these ones, right, that I showed, but some of this is, scraping the barrel. For example, I saw people on TikTok pulling up, his lyrics from 2 years ago that makes him look very guilty, like this one.
Is a monster, and that he knew exactly what he was doing. Let's start off with this lyric from one of his songs. He said, "I don't care about the law when I'm with you, because I be breaking it all the time." Right,
that lyric, I looked up on Genius. It came out back in 2023, 2 years ago. Like, but I'm gonna be honest. I think Nuclear Take. I think most love songs have lyrics like that. You know, where they want to break the law for the love interest. Is that uncommon? No. So again, overall, right? I don't want to defend David anymore because from what I've seen, like the chance of him being guilty is much greater than him being innocent. So there you go. Again, wait for this to develop, and we should wait like for the police to investigate this. But once again, bro, the people, like, I believe like the people who call him, a murderer were crazy. But after seeing everything that I've just showcased, they might be right. They might just be right.